comedian Dave Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I was back down in the tunnels today with the boys, with the fucking lads, hanging around, having a chat. Just such a fucking tight-knit crew of waterproofers down there in the tunnels these days. We're all standing around, we're all having a chat, we're all like, how the fuck are we going to get out of this? And then we pretty much agreed that we're going to buy a crane. I'm going to be the operator. Some other cunt's going to be the dogman. Like, I'm not paying for the crane. Someone else is going to hustle for the work. So basically, we are 110% going to be in the tunnels together for the next 10 years. It was fun, though. It was fun daydreaming about a different life. A life where we weren't waterproofers in a tunnel, sweeping water out so we could lay some waterproofing shit. I was speaking to one of the guys. He's a little bit younger. I think he's 30. And he was a builder beforehand. He was like a foreman, and he was like, it was just fucked. He was like, at the start it was good. The builder was paying him decently and his hours weren't too big. But then over the years, his pay never went up, but his responsibility went up, and he ended up doing like 14-hour days for no more pay. And then when he went to fucking ask for a little pay rise, the guy's like, nah. And so he left the next day, became a waterproofer. Anyway, today we were talking about how these tunnel projects eventually going to end. Work is going to dry up. I heard the crane company, the big crane company that works on these sites, they dropped 20 guys the other day, and we were like, fucking so many people are going to be fucked. I'm like, the whole economy falls apart if they stop plowing money into these projects. And I was like, it's going to be fucking brutal. And he's like, it will be for a little bit, but there's going to be a lot of fucking estates and houses going up around this area, because where I'm building the tunnel, like where I'm working, it's got to be like a few $1 billion. I don't know how much the train station's costing, but it's a mega train station in the middle of a farm field. There's seriously nothing around. There's like 2 big farmhouses on the drive in, and there wouldn't be any more than like maybe a couple of hundred people living within a few square kilometers. Like, there's nothing there. So there's going to have to be some people pushed there, and it's all farmland. If there was a train going through there today, it would pick up about 2 people a day. And who knows if these people even want to sell their farmlands, but this is what they do. This is how they get people to sell their fucking land. They've lived there all their life. They love their farm. They want to keep it, but they can't because the fucking local government will rezone that area. And so the property tax will be priced at a different fucking level per square meter. And if you've got 10 acres in the middle of that, it starts getting pretty expensive, so you slowly sell off the farm just to pay the taxes. Or you know that's coming, so you just sell the farm early. Your house is not your house, that's what I'm trying to say. They can fuck you over at any point if they want to. Anyway, I was speaking to this dude, and he's like, there's going to be a lot of residential going up, and we can just bump onto that. And I'm like, yeah, but you have no skill. Like, you're not a waterproofer. Like, we're not even waterproofers. Technically, it's called tunnel lining. I think it falls in this grey area where there is no actual trade, so you don't have to get qualified people. Like, you don't have to get actual waterproofers, because no one at my work is an actual waterproofer. It's all tunnel lining. So you can't even transfer this skill that we've now developed to any other application. It's all tunnel shit. And then when he realized that, he was like, we need to get the fuck out of here ASAP. Let's buy a fucking crane. You can drive. old dog, and I'm like, I'm in, let's do it. Let's dream the big dream. It's classic construction site banter. Let's go out on our own and start a business. Yeah, let's do it. We've got the capabilities. That's how we ended up doing this job. That falls in the grey area. It's not quite waterproofing. It's tunnel. That's how we ended up in tunnel lining, is because we're fucking entrepreneurs. When I was hearing that, I'm like, this cunt's going to be here another fucking decade, poor cunt. And I'm talking about myself. Anyway, it's Monday. I've only got another 3 days to get through before I fucking start a 10-day trip down to fucking Melbourne. I'm actually looking forward to Melbourne now. Excited to go there. But it's Monday, and you know what that fucking means? It's Ask Boyle time. So if you have a question you would like answered by one of the greatest minds of the generation, or any generation ever, then head to my website, boylecomedy.com. It's all there. The Ask Boyle's there. Put your fucking question in. Ask me a question. I can answer anything. While you're there, if you're going there to ask a question, just fucking send in a fucked up Friday. We need the stories. Get the stories in. Red alert. It's always red alert. Fucking head there and do it all. Anyway, let's get to this week's Ask Boyle. So, this week's Ask Boyle, if I can fucking find it, I lost it. Here it is. Okay, so this week's Ask Boyle was sent in by my man fucking Hamish Hamlin. Hamish Hamlin, that is. And here's his question. Because Boyle is so worldly and well-read, could he divulge his top 5 fiction and non-fiction books? Well, how pulled my hammy? That was lame. You have come to the right place. Top 5 fiction and non-fiction books. That's a little fucking difficult. That's 10 books. I know I read this question last week and I should have been thinking about it, but I haven't. So I'm just going to have to go off the top of my head. What have my favorite books been? I think they've changed over the years. Back in the day when I was a little bit younger, I would have said On the Road, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test, that sort of shit. You know, shit that you get drunk to. Also Tropic of Capricorn. I think that's still in there actually. But as I've grown older, my taste has matured greatly. And I never really read non-fiction back in the day. It was all just fiction, you know, because I romanticized about being an author. So you weren't an author unless you were doing like fiction. Non-fiction is just clown work. What are you talking about? So I'll start with the non-fiction. I'll start with non-fiction because that's the stuff I've read most recently. The best books I've read recently, there was The History of Neoliberalism by David Harvey, I think it was. That was a fucking eye-opener for me. I didn't even know what neoliberalism was, but now I do. And basically, neoliberalism is what the US foisted upon the world and what they are trying to claim now they are victims of. like fucking the US basically fucked over their entire population, working population, to gain access to basically slave labor overseas so the corporations and the money could make mega profits. And now they're claiming that these other countries are taking advantage of the US when it was the US that started all of it. So if you read that, you will sort of understand what's going on now. You need to understand what's going on now. Otherwise, it's just chaos. But if you understand a little bit about neoliberalism, how it started, what it is, the techniques they use to basically gut all these third world countries. The US just extracted wealth from all these countries. Chile, China. Well, China's a little bit of a fucking different ball game. I think China will be studied for a very, very long time, but in the beginning, that's what it was. Anyway, you need to read that. Once you've read that, actually, you can read these in any order. Let's go with, what was that fucking book I read? How Money Dies. It was, I forget who it's by. Let me look it up, actually. Here it is. When Money Dies, Adam Ferguson. It's Germany in the 1920s and the nightmare of deficit spending, devaluation, and hyperinflation. That book will give you a lot of fucking information about inflation, what happens to a society when the currency is devalued at insane rates. It gives you a little bit of context to the aftermath of World War I, and also it doesn't explicitly explain anything about the rise of Hitler. It mentions Hitler a couple of times, but not really that much. But you can see how the seeds were sown for Hitler's rise way, 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 way before he ever got into fucking power. So that was a great one. That teaches you a lot of fucking different things. Teaches you a little bit about money as well, and value, hard money, gold, for example. Well worth a read. Another book along the same lines, I would go with The Price of Time. It's another one, it's another money one, but it fucking outlines basically every bubble and bursting bubble and economic fucking disaster of the past 500 years. That was another fucking great book, actually. That teaches you a lot of stuff, because a lot of these books, well, those two in particular, they combine history with like a basic rudimentary understanding of or teaching of economics, and the two are very linked. I don't think you can really even pass out politics, history, economics. It's all one and the same to me. So that's fucking great too. Another book, let's go for something a little bit different. This was a fucking really good one for, well, it's basically world mythology. It's called Hero with a Thousand Faces by Joseph Campbell. And he has done like a comprehensive analysis or like research or study of all the great myths throughout history across all cultures. And he has basically shown that they follow certain archetypes. There's certain trends that show up in these myths across all cultures and times as well. And they apply to your actual life too. So you can follow the myths and you can apply them to your life as sort of like a roadmap. But you got to read that book because that's just dense and it has a lot of fucking cool information, cool stuff. It helps you think in a different way. It lets your mind fucking wander a little bit. So I'll give you that one. How many books is that? 4. And the last one I'll give you, how about you read The Bitcoin Standard by Saifuddin Amus or Amanus or something like that. Saifuddin, that'll do. As long as you type in The Bitcoin Standard and Saifuddin. Saifuddin is S-A, it's safe, A, Dean, okay? Anyway, The Bitcoin Standard, if you fucking just have ever wondered anything about Bitcoin, read that book. For the most part of it, for at least half of it, it explains from the ground up what money is, how it came to be, why it's broken. It takes you through everything, and it's a very easy read, and it's very simple, and it has taken out all the jargon, so it's not a complex book to read. You'll fly through it, and then you'll get at least a little bit of an understanding of what the fuck's going on with Bitcoin. So they're my 5 non-fiction books. Fuck. Can I come back next week or tomorrow? Because this is getting fucking late, and if I start doing the non-fiction, or the fiction, if I start doing the fiction now, I'm going to get into an explanation. Nah. All right, I'll do fiction tomorrow. My 5 favorite fiction books tomorrow, and I'll be able to think about it. So there's 5 fucking books you can sink your teeth into. But anyway, thanks, Hammy. Appreciate the question. That'll do for tonight, and I'll see you the fucker later.